Yeah, he was jealous. Clearly, he's jealous. Really, yeah. So there's only room for him. It was. Look back at their relationship. It's very unhealthy. Always traveling together. It was very inappropriate.
My question is for Kristine and James. Buffy's mom and Spike had a couple of really great interactions. The first time when Buffy is getting Spike's help and she lets Spike into the house, and then later a couple seasons when Spike is in the process, I think he's got the ship where he's slowly turning good, and then there's the interaction with Buffy's mom. I realized, like, wait, this is that vampire that I met one time. So what do you think that the relationship between those characters would have been like had Joyce not been killed?
Spike always had a soft spot in his heart for Joyce. I think instinctually Spike fell in love with Buffy in the first episode. I mean, he was trying to kill her, but I think it was also really hot, you know. Like, he was attracted to her from the beginning, and so that extends to the mother, you know, and also to her little sisters. Like, oh, I love her, and then anybody in her immediate family, all of a sudden, like, I also think they're really cool too. But I think instinctually, I was like, and I think it was in the writing too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was. Was, but I was like confiding in you, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were sitting at the... Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I think from Joyce's point of view, it was like everybody else was so young, it was suddenly like, oh, we can talk.
That's a good point because I was also in love with Buffy. But I never even, I mean, really. There was
Not double potion.
Bewitched, Father, and Bewildered, yeah. You were never on my radar. And when you're on my radar, I'm like, Jesus Christ, get off my radar. But it's true, because it's like, you know, is that the writing? Or it's like that pack mentality of like, you know, Buffy Willow and there, or Sarah Allison, and maybe we're in high school.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because I was an adult man. But, you know, if I was like, I had a click. You on the show? And it must have been the writing too, because you're right, you're dead on about when you fall in love with Spike Up and Buffy, then of course that proxy calls mom, and like he just carries like everything like that.
Yeah. That was the thing. It was like, why do I care about Dawn? I mean, initially I was like, why am I taking the time? You know, it's not. And I was like, oh no, that's little sister. Oh yeah, of course. Take care of her.
My question is, if you guys could talk about the success of Danny Strong as a screenwriter, and did you have the same reaction watching the Emmys and going, oh my God, that's Jonathan?
You know, we did a panel yesterday with Jane Aspenson, was up here, and she was saying how the season 6, 7, Danny would kind of bring her scripts to read. Like, you know, would you mind reading them? And so she would. She's like, yeah, you know, that one's got, you know, it's good here, it's not great there. This one's kind of got some promise. And then so finally, he did that a few times, and he's like, well, I wrote this other script. It's political. And Jane was like, yeah, she's thinking to herself, I don't want to read any more scripts, essentially. You know, it's like, I'm done. And so she's like, okay, I'll take it. I made it stick. And it was recount. And she's like, this is, you hit it out of the park, it's amazing. But she's like, you kind of pigeonhole yourself because there's only one place that would do this, and it's HBO. So you limited your, and is that right? So with HBO? But it's funny, I didn't know that Jane was like reading his stuff back then. So it's kind of neat to hear that progression of it. Because I'm like, hey, Sherman's a writer. Just kind of came out of nowhere, you know? It's nice to know that you're working on it.
Another overnight success.
Yeah. 30-year overnight success. And I go watch Emmys. So I didn't particularly see that moment, but I do see Danny, because Danny he was in the presentation, so the one with the other Willow. So I've known Danny for a long time, but I'm super stoked for him. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And have you guys seen The Butler? Yeah. Here? Has anybody seen The Butler? Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Like freaking awesome. Like 3 people have seen The Butler?
Go see it. It's so good. The Ghost Dog is in it, man. Yeah. And go see Ghost Dog too. Forrest Whitaker. It's one of my favorite actors.
He's really wonderful. Oh man, what was it? Where he played King of Scotland?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was going to say also, Danny Strong is writing the screenplay for the final 2 Mockingjay movies. So it's kind of like a DragonCon explosion of nerddom, of crossover Buffy and Suzanne Collins. So that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, Danny just had like a magic to him. Like he started as like in high school. If you need a student to say one line, it would always be Danny.
Yeah.
But he was the student. Well, I don't even think that in the scripts the student had a name. It was just like he always knocked it out of the park. And so Josh just said, yeah, we only have one other student that ever speaks in this high school. Yeah, he just kept being amazing, and they just kept giving him more and more. He was fabulous. He still is, yeah.
Okay, so I kind of have this belief that Joss Whedon was kind of that nerd in high school that we all love. And he graduated and created Google, and now everyone loves him. He's like a household name after the Avengers. So what I want to know is if he came up to you and was like, hey, Avengers 2's coming out, who would you want to be? Any character in the Marvel Universe.
Captain America.
Mr. Freeze?
That's DC.
Slinky's a wonderful toy. It's our friend, boy.
That's a tough one.
I get that a lot. I simply don't, because he didn't ask me. Much thought. There was a thing for a while where, like, it was an online thing where Bruce Banner, like the Hulk, would have been fun to play that character. But I think Mark Ruffalo's amazing too. Would I have been as amazing? I don't know. Probably not. No, don't worry about me. I'm doing just fine.
Hi. So Joss Whedon, especially on Buffy, was known for making character deaths as painful as they could possibly be, like Joyce and Tara, or badass like Spikes. But Jesse was supposedly Xander and Willow's best friend, and he died, and he was just never ever mentioned again. So what the hell was that?
Which is really odd because I mean, Joss is typically all over that. I think Joss was upset because what he wanted to make Jesse bigger in the sense of he wanted to have what's the actor's name? Eric Balfour. He wanted to have Eric like in the titles with the series regulars, and kill him off in the second episode. And then the network's like, we have to pay him for the full season if that's the case. So they said, no, we can't do that. But so he wanted to always talk with you guys from day one. And so I'm gonna kill what you thought was a series regular in episode 2. So I think maybe he was probably a little upset about that he couldn't get his way on that one. So he probably just wanted to forget about it.
This will be our last question.
Good morning.
So we all know Buffy was a very physically demanding show, especially for Sarah Michelle Gellar, but what was the most physically demanding episode or scene for you guys?
Wielding that axe. It was heavy. And that was one of those Friday nights at like 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah.
I think too. I did a movie called Psycho Beach Party, and I had to run. Suck. I know this is a Buffy question, but I almost drowned, so I'm going to talk about this one. We were, Laura Ambrose was playing Chiclet, and she was out there drowning, and we're in Malibu, at Point Doom in Malibu, which is a big cliff that we shot. And so she's out there, and I'm like, Chiclet, and I run in, and it's one shot, there's no coverage, because the sun's going down. And I go, and I gotta pick her in, and she's acting, she's a great actress, she's acting like she's passed out. So and then I gotta carry her out of the water, and I'm thinking it, my heart exploded. I had to stick her before I went in the water. And I'm looking up, my legs are shaking, and I'm like sexy, you know? Things good, disgusting, horrible. We'll do that again. Anytime that we were shooting past midnight, and I had 2 scenes off, and then I was awakened at 4:30 to finish my day. 4:30 in the morning was brutal. Because you're in your REM sleep, you know, it's like, and you're like, please just be behind us, we'll do it Monday. And you go, like, yeah, ready for you. Like, how are you? I was like, could you at least give me a 5-minute warning, you know? So that was the most painful part.
That was the one time I heard stuntman. I only tagged a stuntman one time. Yeah, I asked him, look, it's a fight scene, it's raining, just wake me up 20 minutes before you want to shoot. I'm going straight into stunts. They're like, no problem. But of course, I'm ready for you now. Yeah, so it's raining cats and dogs. It's supposed to be that we're on grass, but we're on cement, and it's a really thin grass. It's like this thick. So we're sliding all around, and I'm supposed to, like the gag is that Spike kicks the guy in the nuts, but you don't really kick him in the actual nuts. You kick him in the thigh, but I missed. It's just all the guy going. It's the only time that I ever yelled cut, because it's really like, because he's out of the box. He never, like we would see each other on other projects when we were doing stunts, and he'd be like, yeah, the guy that's aggravated, and that's never let me forget it.
Thank you, guys. You're wonderful.